Hello, I'm Doug Doherty with Hamilton Flourishing, and today we present another edition of Everything Hamilton County. Our guest today is Senator Todd Gardenhire of Hamilton County and also Bradley County, and we're here to talk about a really fascinating topic, and that's food deserts. You may be wondering, what's a food desert, and what does it mean to our community? So Todd has been working on this, and we're going to talk about that. Senator, hello.
Good to be here. Good to be
Glad
here.
to see you.
Yeah.
You and I both are multi-generational Chattanooga people. We've been here
Long time.
You've been here since the Indians were here.
Yeah. Well, my family has.
Yeah.
I know I look old, got gray hair, but I'm not that old.
And my family came in just after they left, so that's interesting. So I think somebody ought to put together a meeting of really old families that get together and come and swap stories. I think that'd be fun.
It probably would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be. I think it would be. Yeah. That has nothing to do with the topic. So anyway, Todd, tell us, what is a food desert?
A food desert is an area of a town that doesn't have grocery stores and places where the constituents or the people can go and buy food. Not a fast food place, not a McDonald's, not a little corner 7-Eleven type of a operation, but a grocery store.
Yeah, with fresh fruits and vegetables and
all the things that are healthy and things like that. We have a map. If they want to bring the map up, we can just show what a food desert looks like. The red lines is the area that we have in a food desert.
And so that's Chattanooga. Is that the left of the screen?
Yeah, that's downtown, basically downtown Chattanooga, East Lake, all the way to Brainerd, across Missionary Ridge, where you see the I-24 sign. That's actually on the top of Missionary Ridge, and to the right is Brainerd. Below that is East Ridge, and to the left is East Lake and downtown Highland Park, East Chattanooga, all the way up to Glass Street. And if you see the blue dot to the left of the wording Chattanooga, I don't know where that is. I think that's a warehouse. But the red dot to the right of it is the mini Walmart out near Boyd Buchanan School out on Chalford Road. Otherwise, there is nothing in the downtown area that has a substantial presence and able to supply people with the ability to go get groceries, unless they want to drive. And a lot of these people that live in this neighborhood don't have the ability to get to a store. And a lot of times CARTA or public transportation doesn't cover those. So a desert is something that there's not something growing in it. And right now there's no significant grocery stores or places where people can buy food unless they want to go through the Bachman tubes on Ringo Road. And you see about 3 or 4 grocery stores there, or get in your car and drive down to 23rd Street, or go out past the airport and do some shopping. And that's a total inconvenience to people, and it's one that concerns some people that approach me, and as a result, I started looking into this and trying to use a cliche, try to figure out how to skin the cat.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. And some of the ideas that we've come up with is if a state and city and county wants to give an economic incentive to a Volkswagen or a Valker up in Bradley County or something to locate in their community and bring jobs, then why can't we give economic incentives to grocery stores that will come and locate in areas that it's not profitable to be in? Mm-hmm. There's several places around the country that's done something like this. Philadelphia comes to mind, and I've got some information that people sent me on that to try to figure out a model piece of legislation that we can put together that will make it good to it. It doesn't matter where the grocery store is. It doesn't matter what part of town it is. You have about a 15 to 20% of your groceries walk out the door. So that's a hardship on any place. And so you got to make it up by profitable items. If you remember the old days when the Red Food Store was here, they always put the milk at the back of the store, and they would cut the price of the milk to entice you to come in and buy other groceries on the way to that milk. It wasn't buying the Mayfield's milk wasn't profitable, but it was a way to get people, because everybody had to have milk. So you come in, you cut the price, and bring them in. Then on the way they buy all their groceries and other things to do it. Coca-Colas, beer. It's not a profitable thing. You see those at the back of the store, but that's what the high volume is. And you don't make up things on high volume. You make it up on things that you can sell to eat. Canned goods can be profitable, but vegetables are very profitable. But they're hard to come by. And we don't have a food market downtown like we used to before. Down off of 12th Street or something like that near the Free Press. We don't have that anymore here in Chattanooga. And you could go down and get your groceries, and that's what supplied all the different stores for a while. So we have to do something to figure out to give an incentive. The thoughts that we've come up with is we try to see if there's an incentive through economic development to entice a chain to put a food store down there. Number one. Number two, one of the real problems in the inner city area that we have is your workforce and workforce development. And there should be a way through our school systems to identify young people that want to get a job early in life. I sacked groceries at the Giant Food and Pruitt's when I was a kid in Glenwood, and carried them out. But you don't find bag boys anymore. That's what we were. But it was a good start to learn how to do it. I eventually moved up when I was in college to the meat department, cleaning up late at night, working in a grocery store. But we need to do something also that entices and gives a break to these companies to hire people inside that food desert to get them trained, get their work ethic where it should be, and use that as a reference then to go out and get another job and have a stream of people continually coming through that are willing to work, for the wages that are there, and give the companies some kind of incentive to hire people that live in the neighborhood around it, not just have a store down there and then bring in people from the outside to work. So there's several ways to look at this, we hope, and bring some more food stores in that area.
Do you know about how many folks you're talking about on that map?
Good question. When a food store looks at an area, they look at the rooftops of the houses, and I'm gonna make a guess. There's probably close to maybe 30 to 40,000 people actually live in the Brainerd, Eastdale, East Chattanooga, all the way down to East Lake area. That's a pretty good number of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you think of how important, especially in the developmental ages of children, good nutrition is. Yeah. And then you think about that they don't have access to fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, that they're getting a lot of food from. I've known people who lived in the urban community, and they shop at the, like you mentioned, the 7-Eleven. They're eating a lot of chips
I use the term
Dr.
7-Eleven.
Pepper, and
I use the term 7-Eleven because we don't have them anymore in Chattanooga, and so I don't want to be accused of picking on somebody. So.
But so it's if you're thinking about the maturation and the growth of the young people, especially, and then you think about older people, and they need good nutrition. And you think about, what'd you say, 30, 40,000 people?
So I'd say that's probably on the high side, but that's a lot of people in that area. My district is 200 and something thousand people, and the downtown area, and that represents about 40% of it, 30%. So that's about the number that I have in there.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that's a need, and it seems like what you're doing is trying to create incentives for either individuals or corporations or businesses to come and create or build a chain or another store, or I guess it could be a single entity store, but you're working on incentives for that, right?
That's right. And I've talked to several, and I've talked to several groups. When I say groups, I'm talking about major grocery store chains,
right?
About it, and they've tried to educate me on the economics of putting a store in a neighborhood like we're talking about,
yeah.
And what obstacles they have to overcome, and a lot has to do with their supply chain. How do they get their things down there? And that's an obstacle I don't quite know how to overcome.
Uh-huh.
And I keep picking on the name Red Food Store because it's not around again. But you remember they had a big warehouse out on Shallowford Road that
right.
they distributed their food to, and trucking in the groceries, the fresh groceries, is something that they worry about. How do they get it in that area? Because there's no other place they can stop off of and make it economically feasible to put that on the route, so to say.
Have you visited with any of the? I was doing some research not long ago on the growing number of people who are getting back into farming, if not in Hamilton County, in the immediate area, and I was really surprised at the number of people. And so there's a number of places in town where they have like an old farmers market, maybe one day a week. Have you ever talked to any of those folks?
I have not. I quite frankly, I didn't even know that existed. So now you've given me a new rabbit trail to go
on Main
down.
Street, there's a farmers market, I think, on Thursdays. I think it's down in that old factory building. There's a lot of pipe laying, and I don't know what it used to be. It's not far from where we're sitting. And on Signal Mountain, there's a farmers market once a thing. And my daughter actually pays so much a month, and she gets once a month. She gets a big bag, it's a big box of fresh produce from a farm, and I think they pay $35-$40, and then they get a whole big bag of fresh produce, and so that'd be a great. Maybe we can do something about getting you in touch with some of those guys.
It might be. I just got back from a mission trip down in Mexico. Went to Chapacula, I think is the name of it. It's the further southwest corner of Mexico, and went into a little town there that we were headquartered out of to operate out of. And every 2 days they have a big food stand set up, and I mean it's just every kind of food and animal you can think of, and meat, produce is there, and that's where everybody comes twice a week and shops in the downtown near the courthouse or near the mayor's residence downtown,
mm-hmm.
and it was pretty exciting to see how they all came in and they put their wares out on, and everybody bought it and took it back, and then in the rural parts they would come down and buy it, load up a pickup truck and take it up into the mountains and have little stores set up. So it was a neat supply chain set up.
Sounds like private enterprise at its best.
Yeah, very, very ingenious that they did, and it worked well. I'm not saying we ought to do that here, but
the mayor may like to have a garden in his front yard or something.
But they overthrew the mayor in this town right before we got there. So.
Oh no. Well, tell me this, Todd. If as people are watching this and they say, that is a need, that's a community that needs this kind of help, and this is the most basic kind of help. We're talking about creating incentives, and you're starting the conversation. You're kind of stirring up the conversation about all this.
I'm a good pot stirrer. I like to stir the pot.
I like to stir the pot. And if people want to get involved, is there anybody that's kind of leading the charge, or should they get in touch with you or your office, or?
They can get in touch with me and at my office in Nashville, or I'm easy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
And Napoleon Donut Williams, former police officer, is the one that put me in. He got this bug in my ear, and he's at the Olivet Baptist Church on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And there's other community leaders involved in it, and
so is Donut kind of helping you?
Yeah,
push this
he
thing?
is. Donut's an old friend.
Yeah.
An old friend of mine from back in the Bookie Turner days. If anybody relates to that's watching your show, he was a former captain in the police force and now retired. But he's still very active in his community, and he's the one that put this bug in my ear some months ago, and I've been quietly working on it and keeping in touch with him. And if the community leaders, they all recognize who Donut is and get in touch with him, and get in touch with me anytime. I don't mind giving my cell phone out.
No, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can go to the internet and find your office.
Yeah, they
number.
can find my office and call me, and I'll be glad to talk to anybody.
And you respond very quickly, and you have a very pleasant staff that I've talked to. And
Rita's wonderful. If it wasn't for her, I don't know what I'd do.
Well, we've been talking today to Todd Gardenhire, who is the state senator from Tennessee on the 10th district, representing the southern part of Hamilton County and 2/3 of Bradley County, and talking about food deserts, specifically that are in the urban area and the Brainerd area of, and what is north of Brainerd?
Glass Street area, East Chattanooga.
Yeah, East Chattanooga.
All the way down to East Lake.
Down to East Lake. Food deserts. And so we've been talking about the absence of there being like a grocery store, that we're also comfortable with just running in and running out and picking up stuff. Well, these folks can't do that. And then their children and the older folks that live there, they don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that. So maybe you've got an idea about how Todd and his group, Donut and the others, can pursue this. Maybe you know some farmers who want to get involved. Maybe you know some people in the industry, the food industry, that would like to talk to Todd. Maybe you know somebody in other cities that's been involved in the same discussion. If you do, get in touch with Todd or Donut. And Todd, we really enjoyed talking to you today, and thank you for coming and sharing this. Anything else you want to say?
No, this is the way things work in government. Is you stumble on a problem and you try to fix a problem. We have some great legislators that are policy people, and they look at things at 30,000 feet and try to have a policy, and then there's those of us that like to take on and fix a problem. And you give me a problem, and I'm gonna try to fix it. That's kind of my deal. And this is a problem that we face. I may not be able to fix it, but I'm gonna go down trying. So.
Well, I wish you a lot of success.
Yeah.
I hope this works, and I think you're to be commended for recognizing and working on it. So,
yeah.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for having
Hamilton
me.
County,
Yeah.
and thank you today for watching Everything Hamilton County.
If you like this video, please subscribe. Be sure to click the bell so you'll receive notification when we release a new video. Be sure to go to our website, www.hamiltonflourishing.org, for more information.